10-year-old of mine is gonna be doing all of this in front of no grown. I don't give a f you talking about. I don't give a f you ain't doing it. Do that shit you grown or old enough to do it. So guess Lil Beyonce, go ahead, because later on, she just training y'all next in line, because Beyonce 40-something. How long she gonna shake that like J-Lo? Because they got to. You're a puppy. They get mad because I say that. Then they say this and say that. Girl, your mother is Beyonce. They got billions of dollars. She can do a lot of shit, that little girl. That little girl could be influential somewhere, talking about real good things, mental health, stuff with children. She's only 13. Ain't nothing wrong with a 13.
Yo, this drama is wild. Word on the street is that Beyonce's ex-surgeon allegedly just dropped a bombshell. And it's all about Blue Ivy. He's claiming Beyonce has been allegedly pushing her own daughter into getting face work done to boost her looks. And guess what? He even dropped a list of what she supposedly has lined up next. Now let's not act brand new. People on the internet been throwing shade at Blue since she was a baby. From the second she hit the spotlight, trolls were out here dragging her looks, nitpicking everything from her nose to her hair like it was their job. It got so bad, even celebrities chimed in on the hate. Lately, folks been saying Blue's glowing up and looking drop-dead gorgeous. But the surgeon's coming forward, saying it's not just natural, it's the result of some serious work being done. And that's not even the craziest part. He's saying there's a whole checklist of procedures planned for the future. Like, what? Let's take it back for a sec. Blue Ivy has been in the spotlight since she was born. As Beyonce's firstborn, everyone immediately started comparing her to her mom. But the internet? They took things way too far. Socials like Twitter and IG were flooded with harsh posts dissecting this little girl's features. It was cruel. Yeah, some fans showed love, but the amount of hate, uncalled for. One of the worst moments? When Blue was just a toddler, and folks were clowning her hair, calling it messy and uncombed, just for being natural. Even Saucy Santana jumped in, replying to someone on Twitter with something real out of pocket about Blue. So it all started when someone tweeted, "I just want to be like Blue Ivy." But Santana didn't hold back. He clapped back with nappy-headed. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, he also tweeted, "I'm sorry, but Northwest clears Blue Ivy. Have several seats." Like, seriously? And when people tried to call him out years later, instead of apologizing, Santana doubled down. He went off, saying stuff like fake woke B-words and claiming nobody cares about old tweets. He even mocked folks for trying to cancel him, saying, "Y'all think you got people by the throat for stuff you don't even care about." It was wild. Meanwhile, all Blue Ivy ever wanted was to live her life like a normal kid, but folks wouldn't let her. Instead, they kept acting like she had to live up to Beyonce's level of beauty, like she was born into some impossible standard she never asked for. And it wasn't just about her looks either. As she grew up, the pressure shifted. Suddenly, people were nitpicking her fashion, her posture, even how she acted at red carpets. The comparisons never stopped. First Beyonce, and then Jay-Z got dragged into it too. It got so bad that viral memes started floating around, putting side-by-side pics of Blue and her parents, asking low-key shady questions like, did she get the right genes? The disrespect was real. Let's be honest. Folks weren't just judging her like any other kid. They were picking apart her hair and facial features, holding her to a beauty standard rooted in Eurocentric ideals, completely ignoring the fact that she's a young black girl with her own identity. That ain't okay. And if the hate from the internet wasn't enough, the gossip behind closed doors is even messier. Rumors been flying that Blue Ivy's own family is stressing over how she looks in the spotlight. Gossip blogs and blind items claim that both Beyonce and Mama Tina are low-key frustrated that Blue doesn't resemble Beyonce enough. Insiders are whispering that her glam squad goes the extra mile to soften her features every time she steps out. Like, this ain't just light makeup. They're allegedly working overtime to mold her image to fit some industry standard. And get this, a blind item even claimed Beyoncé's team might be prepping her for a nose job when she gets older. That's insane. One tipster even said that in a family where image is everything, Blue's already carrying the pressure of not fitting the brand. Like she's just a kid. The report went further, saying Blue Ivy, the so-called heir to a global dynasty, is dealing with pressure most adults couldn't handle. From winning Grammys to sitting front row at shows, she's living the high life publicly. But behind closed doors, it's a whole different story. Allegedly, both Queen Bey and Grandma Tina are quietly upset that the princess of the Carter legacy didn't inherit more of Beyoncé's looks. Instead, Blue's said to be the spitting image of her billionaire dad, Jay-Z, which, according to whispers, ain't exactly thrilling the glam team. They're supposedly working non-stop to tweak her look before she hits any stage or shows up on the gram. And what's even worse, word is, Blue Ivy already knows what the public says about her face, and it's messing with her confidence. And yes, Blue Ivy is reading those comments. Sources say it's already affecting how she sees herself. Word is, she started leaning into heavy makeup super early, just trying to look more like Beyoncé's mini-me and less like Jay-Z's twin. Insiders claim there's a whole image strategy in motion, and once she hits legal age, some so-called refinements might be on the table. Yep, even that nose job talk, it's allegedly already been floated behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Mama Bey isn't slowing down either. Insiders say she's pushing full force to mold Blue into the next superstar, whether Blue wants it or not. 'Cause let's be real, what's a billion-dollar empire without a legacy act to pass the crown to? But while all this is going down, people are speaking out. Fans and supporters are not having it. They're calling out the non-stop pressure Blue's been under, saying it's completely out of line to pick apart a child's looks, or even joke about surgeries. That type of talk, it ain't just shady, it's damaging. And it's not just the surgery chatter. Folks are raising alarms over how fast Blue's been pushed into grown-up roles. From bold makeup to suggestive stage outfits and mature dance moves, some say it's way too much, way too soon. Even Tokyo Toni came out swinging, accusing Beyoncé of putting Blue in grown-up situations that just aren't meant for kids. And let's be honest, when Tokyo Toni starts questioning your parenting, Blue Ivy's story might sound familiar. Celebrity kids always deal with some kind of spotlight, but the heat she's gotten, it's been next level. From day one, she's been hit with sky-high expectations and non-stop gossip about everything, from how she looks to what kind of future she should have. And the wild part? She's just a kid. But this pressure doesn't come out of nowhere. A lot of it ties straight back to the Carter image, especially Beyoncé's carefully crafted brand. Blue Ivy isn't just living her own life. She's living in her mom's shadow, and that spotlight brings a ton of baggage. Because when your mom is Beyoncé, the bar isn't just high, it's almost untouchable. Beyoncé herself has been under the microscope for years, especially when it comes to beauty standards in the industry. People have called out how she's often seen with straightened hair and lighter skin tones, claiming she's leaning into Eurocentric ideals. Critics say it highlights a bigger issue in Hollywood where certain features get praised while others, especially black features, get pushed aside. This convo ain't new, but it exploded during the Renaissance era. People online lost their minds, accusing Beyoncé of bleaching her skin because of how light she looked in some photos. It got so loud, even Tina Knowles had to step in and clap back. She posted, she does a film called The Renaissance, where the whole theme is silver, with silver hair, a silver carpet, and suggested silver attire. And you bozos decide she's trying to be a white woman and bleaching her skin. Duh! She wore silver hair to match her silver dress as a fashion statement. Clown! She wasn't done either. Tina defended her daughter fiercely, saying Beyoncé has always supported black women and lifted up underdogs behind the scenes. But the damage was already done. And that toxic scrutiny? It's now trickling down to Blue Ivy, too. Now here's where things get even messier. Because while Beyoncé's been defending her image for years, it's Blue Ivy who's silently catching the fallout. Insiders claim the pressure to represent the brand is now shaping every part of Blue's young life, from the way she dresses to how she moves in public. And it's not just coming from the outside world. Folks close to the situation say even within the Carter circle, there's unspoken tension. The brand is everything, and any slight move outside of that polished image, it gets shut down real quick. One source said, everything she wears, every smile she gives on camera, it's rehearsed. It's planned. Nothing's off the cuff with Blue anymore. Imagine growing up where every single move is micromanaged, where you're not just a kid, you're a product. They say Blue's even been getting coached before interviews and appearances to make sure she doesn't slip or act too childish. Like, she's barely a teen and already being molded like a Hollywood veteran. And while Beyoncé might think she's just preparing her daughter for the spotlight, some people are saying it's doing more harm than good. Fans have started voicing concern that Blue doesn't seem as carefree as she used to. Her energy feels different, almost like she's performing even when the cameras aren't rolling. One post even went viral saying, "She don't smile the same. That little girl used to light up a room. Now she looked like she's walking on eggshells." And now, with all eyes locked on Blue Ivy, the conversation is shifting from whispers to full-blown debate. People are starting to ask, is this fame or is this control? Because from what insiders are saying, it's starting to feel like Blue never got the space to figure out who she really is. Everything about her life has been curated. From the red carpet glam to her stage moves, it's all been polished to fit the Carter Empire's flawless image. She's been handed moments most kids can't even dream of, but did she ever ask for any of it? Some folks are even drawing comparisons to child stars from back in the day, saying this feels like history repeating itself. The overexposure, the branding, the constant judgment. And we all know how that turned out for a lot of them. One fan posted, "This ain't empowerment, it's pressure in designer heels." Another wrote, "She's not a brand, she's a child." And it doesn't stop there. Word is, Blue's inner circle is tight, like super tight, and any friends or outsiders trying to get too close get screened. Some insiders say her social life is controlled to avoid any mess that could hurt the family's image. That's not childhood. That's PR management. Even former nannies and stylists have allegedly hinted that Blue isn't allowed to express herself freely without some sort of approval. One even claimed she once picked out her own outfit and it got pulled last minute for not being on brand. At this point, Blue Ivy isn't even seen as a regular kid anymore. She's seen as Beyoncé's daughter, period. And that title? It comes with a whole lot of unrealistic expectations. Every time she steps out, the comparisons kick off again. Folks start sizing her up next to her mom, judging her against Beyoncé's straightened hair, polished skin, and picture-perfect image. And let's be real, people act like Blue falls short just because she looks more like Jay-Z. And that right there, that's where it gets nasty. Jay-Z's never been hyped up for his looks in the media, and somehow that ends up being held against Blue. Now, according to that surgeon spilling tea, Beyoncé and Mama Tina are allegedly working overtime to make Blue look less like her dad and more like a brand-approved version of beauty. Sounds harsh, but in Hollywood, this stuff happens more than people think. Remember Bella Hadid? She reportedly got a nose job at just 14. And don't even start with the fillers, lifts, and maturity glow-ups that get explained away like magic. Word is, some celeb parents allegedly push their kids into procedures young, so by the time they're teens, they can say, "Oh, it's just puberty." Nah, it's pressure, and a whole lot of image management. If Beyoncé and Mama T really are pushing Blue toward that path, it's heartbreaking. But like the blind item said, it's all to secure the bag. That's Hollywood. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think this is all facts or just gossip gone wild? Is Blue Ivy being shaped or straight up controlled? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell so you never miss the tea. And I'll catch you in the next one.